Okay, so in this part of the media planning market research process, we're going to talk a bit about competitor research. So here in the tab here, we have, in this column here, we have competitors. So there's really kind of two tools that really will allow us to kind of figure out who our competitors are. One is called SimilarWeb and another one is called SEMrush. Both of these tools have free options. Actually really powerful free options. And then they have paid versions as well. I do recommend, if you can, we really love SEMrush. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but it's like a super valuable tool. So we do have that one as a paid version as well, but both of them are free. So typically what I'm doing here is I'm gonna go, and what I love about SEMrush is I could go in here and I can put my keyword, let's say dog supplements, if I can get my spelling right, and I can click search. And what I love about it is it does a couple of things. Number one, it'll show you under the overview, it'll give you like a bunch of even more like variations. So even if you wanted to take some of these keywords to add to your keyword research, you can do that as well. But it'll give you like these variations. It'll also give you some questions, which is something we're going to talk about in a moment. I actually have a different tool that I really love to use. You can also use this tool for that. Super powerful tool. Then it kind of give you these related keywords as well. But typically what I'm doing is I'm looking at the SERP analysis, meaning search engine result pages. So these are all of the people who've decided that they want to be on the first page or highly ranked in Google search results organically for this particular keyword. And I love that because one thing like I say, I think I might have mentioned this before is, robots, crawlers and all of that, they read what's called metadata. Now I'm going to not get deep into that, but that's how they read. They don't read with eyes like we do. They read with metadata. So they crawl and they determine what's relevant and so forth. And so people who have a really strong structure when it comes to organic results for search engine results, they usually have done a lot of research. So that's one of the ones that I love to do. I kind of like the SERP analysis because as a competitors, these are people that I can go break down on that level. And then another thing I can do with this tool is from the SERP analysis, then we can go look at the advertisers as well. So like I said, on the SERP analysis side, we're really going to be able to evaluate people who have really good structures and metadata and all of this kind of stuff. And usually they're really dialed in on that. And then the advertiser side is like who's spending the money. So the first thing I would do, I see there's Chewy.com. I've heard of. I don't know what Rover is, so I might pop that one open because I don't know what Rover. Okay, they call themselves the dog people. Great. So usually what I'm doing with competitors, I'm usually looking about for like 5 to 10 really good ones. So, I would probably copy this link address, and then under Chewy, it's an easy deal. I would paste that one in. And I'm probably going to get rid of, it's not doing. So sometimes you might have to pop open and paste it like so. I see what I did wrong. So let me go back. And what I should have done was this little link. So this little arrow pointing out like that is what I should have been copying instead of the blue one. So I would copy link address because I want this URL because I want to put it in my media plan. And usually what I do, I'll probably just chop off the landing, the rest of it. And then I'm going to go back, and usually I'm looking for maybe like the top 3. So I'd pick rover.com, and I pick pethonesty.com. And then what I'm going to do is use those when we go and do SimilarWeb. I'll show you in just a moment. So I'm going to do that. So I want to get like 3 of them in here real quick. Rover And then I'm gonna copy link address again, and I'm gonna paste this one in there. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look at the advertisers, because sometimes what'll happen is both the people that are ranking very well organically are also spending money. And I really love competitors like that because they got a lot of really good things going on in their brand. If they rank very well and they spend a lot of money on ads, that's usually a sign of a really strong brand and something that I want to model. So that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm doing that. Okay, so now that we have a couple of these competitors from organic search result pages, we want to look at what people are doing on the advertising front. So usually what we can do here is we can take one of these people that rank really well and we can put their domain name in, okay? So when we go and I can type chewy.com and I can click search. Now we can go to the advertising tab here, advertising, and then we can click on advertising research. And what I love about this part is, I love a lot of things about this, but the key thing here is you want to click on competitors. And then when you do that, it's going to show you all of the people that are advertising in this particular, competitors of theirs that are advertising. So now you can get an even longer list of people who are actually spending money on ads. So now we can see there's 1-800-PET-MEDS, Hills Pet, Petco, Purina. It's like a ton of other competitors. And you can also see, if they're positioning. I mean, obviously the free account gives you limited data, but I mean, you can look at Petco here. They're advertising on 2,920 keywords, and they're estimating that they're getting a million visitors a month. So pretty strong, right? So if we look at 1-800-PET-MEDS, I really like them. That makes sense, right? As I'm thinking about, again, I don't know much to know about this market, but I know supplements and meds kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So I would probably say this is another one that I want. So I'm gonna copy link address. I'm gonna paste that one there. And then I'm gonna probably go and get Petco, because I see them, up here, and then hillspet.com, which I don't know much about. So I'm gonna click on that just to see. Hill's Pet Nutrition, great. That's makes sense, because technically supplements is nutrition for your pets. So that makes sense. So I'm just gonna take that one for now, copy link address. And as you can see, just like that, we got 5 competitors that we've already identified just from a free tool, SEMrush free version, right? Now, what I would do with that is I would say there's also SimilarWeb, and what I like about SimilarWeb, so I can show you guys an example of SimilarWeb here. We're gonna stick with like Chewy as an example. And so if I go and I type in chewy.com and I click search, this is what I really love with SimilarWeb. Now, we're not gonna gather, you wanna go back and gather all of this information as well. But again, like a lot of these tools have a lot of overlap. So there's a lot of purposes you can use a lot of them for. I'm talking about this one specifically related to competitors. But typically what happens is, okay, I can scroll. It gives me an idea of how much traffic they're getting, where that traffic is coming from. Okay, thanks. I got a lot of pop-ups. What countries. And then this is what I like here is like source breakdown. This is amazing. I'm not going to get deep into it now, but it can kind of give me an idea of where they're getting their traffic from, so that I can maybe go and figure out how to get traffic the same way. And then you can see the referrals, but here's what I like about SimilarWeb. I'm gonna scroll all the way down because I could talk about a lot of this other stuff forever, but you can see here also visited websites, right? We've already identified Petco, 1-800-MEDS, Rover, so that kind of backs up the information we got from SimilarWeb. But here go another one, the Spruce Pets. I never even heard of that before, right? that could potentially go in our media, in our doc as well. And then one other one is competitors and similar sites, which they show similarity, and then you can also do it by rank. So this is just even more down the rabbit hole of competitors where, 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. You can get 20, 30 competitors to be able to build off of, which I think is amazing. So that's pretty much the process of doing competitor research. Okay, so just a quick recap, like what's really powerful here when it comes to competitors is when I talked about, as you can see, I have, maybe 5 in here. But again, like when I'm finding people who, do really well organically and spend a lot of money on advertising, these are usually the ones that I'm gonna really key in on. And from a modeling standpoint, I wanna know everything about them. I'm gonna go to their Facebook, see what Facebook ads they're running. I'm gonna look at their Google ads. I'm gonna try to spy on everything that they're doing because they're gonna be a really great model for you. And that's really kind of the point that I wanted to drive home, that when you're doing competitor research, you wanna be able to evaluate what competitors are doing and use, but you also wanna key in on a model where you're not trying to figure too much stuff out, because that's where you kind of get in trouble. You wanna model someone who's already have the proven data. Like basically we're borrowing other people's data is what we're doing. So I recommend what you do is you take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you go through this process. I would say if you can get at least 20, depending on what market you in, some markets are bigger than other ones. This is probably a pretty big market, so it'd be easy for me to get to 20 or 30. Some markets, maybe not. But I would say on the low end, you probably want to get at least 10. On the high end, maybe 20 to 30. And it shouldn't take you more than maybe like 15 to 20 minutes to do this exercise. So that is your action item for this particular one. Go use the process that I walk you through. Fill out this section of the media planning document under the research tab for competitors, and then we'll get into the rest of it in the next video.